I grew up in a tiny little town that nobody's ever heard of, and then I went to Cornell. I met people from all over the world, people of all different backgrounds. I was among them and learning from them.
Coming here, sometimes you think you know everything. Cornell quickly teaches you that you don't. And I think it's a beautiful struggle we have as human beings, wanting to know so much about the world around us, to be hungry for knowledge. Not just knowledge, but the application of that knowledge in a way that is impactful in people's lives.
The gorges, the waterfalls. To me, the campus is a metaphor for never-ending processes of evolution, transformation. Novelty is always around the corner.
There's always an opportunity to challenge oneself, whether that's physically, socially, or intellectually.
When I teach, one of the things that I hope my students get is this curiosity that drives us. The questions we ask keep changing, and they're really important.
Being able to be in a classroom environment where you get all of those different perspectives has been really great for me in molding a sort of intellectual nuance.
The difficult questions, those are the ones that are, for me, are most worth pursuing.
Elite and egalitarian. The sense of excellence, but also the sense of we accept the common person. We're a space where everybody can belong. That was true right from the beginning. Cornell's freshman class was 1868. The very next year, the first student of African heritage was enrolled, and a year after that, the first woman. This was not something that was common in American universities. I'm just so proud to be part of the Cornell story.
I feel that when we teach, that what we do is we open up in the students' minds the capability to reason and to seek out knowledge and to gather in knowledge, a capability that was always in them. We are enabling rather than teaching facts.
Being a critical thinker, knowing what questions to ask, knowing how to write a story, those are all skills that I honed at Cornell.
I was a very idealistic student, and this place adopted me readily.
I took a seminar with Walter Lefebvre on U.S.-Japan relations, and I just remember him spending time with his undergraduate students and meeting with us. He had us come in and talk to him about how our term papers were going, and his grad students were all out waiting in line out in the hallway, and you couldn't pull him away from the undergraduates, and I think that's unusual for a large research university.
Cornell had, I suppose it still does, a tremendous faculty. I think I would have to rate number one, Vladimir Nabokov. That man changed the way I read. He changed the way I write. Even when I'm drafting an opinion, thinking how the word order should go, I remember him. And I can still hear things that he said.
Carl Sagan was an astronomer here at Cornell. In addition to being a great scientist, one of his other passions was to share this fascination not only with his students, but also with the general public. His legacy and his fascination for the universe has inspired a whole generation of scientists, among them me.
When I was an undergraduate, there was a course catalog that was as thick as a phone book. And I remember being really excited when I got my hands on that thing, thinking, I'm not going to take a fraction of these classes, but it was just cool to flick through it and to think that I'm walking around this campus, and while I'm studying philosophy or creative writing, there's somebody taking an industrial labor relations class. There's somebody doing veterinary medicine. There's somebody working on architecture. All right here.
As Cornell said, I would found an institution where any person can receive instruction in any study is something that's very much alive day to day here. There's a respect that's implied by that. All the different parts of study have merit and insights to give each other, that we're all stronger by having any person, any study, the mix.
I am interested in science, in physics, in astronomy. Before I was hired, one of the first people who I met was Roald Hoffman. And I really thought, wow, here's somewhere that's going to be a really cool place to work if I get to hang out with this Nobel Prize winning scientist and have conversations with him about poetry.
Any person can find instruction in any study or whatever it is, right? It was a laudable goal, and you're not going to achieve it completely, but damn, they've come close, you know?
When A.D. White was helping Ezra Cornell, he talked about founding a university that would make the most highly prized instruction available to anyone regardless of sex or color. And he said that in 1862, when there was a war being fought over whether one human being could own another human being because of their color, and when women couldn't own property if they were married and couldn't vote, the inclusion of things like engineering and agriculture in the founding vision of the university, I think, really grounded that unpretentiousness, the practical concerns. It's an elite school, but it's an inclusive school at the same time, and it lacks the sort of pretentious air of other elite institutions, and I think really gives it a distinctive identity, a distinctive culture that I find very appealing.
The idea that you should be able to come to Cornell, even if your family can't afford Cornell's tuition, is just something that's cherished here, and I think we've done an excellent job relative to peer institutions of being able to do that.
In my last year at Cornell, I took only music and art courses. It was a wonderful education.
You never feel like you're siloed into your major. There's a lot of encouragement to really connect with people in a different discipline than you.
When I first came here, I basically front-loaded with computer science classes. I knew I wanted to do computer science when I came here, but I also took this game design class. And after that class, I was able to take a lot of other classes like art, lighting, and music. I would actually consider myself kind of more of a designer now than more of a tech person. Even though I know the tech very well, I think a lot of my strengths are being able to merge the two.
Last semester, I was taking a sociology seminar on mass incarceration in the family. And the fact that I was able to sit in a classroom with one of the leading scholars, or I'm taking a creative writing class this semester, that's similarly taught by sort of a leading poet in the country. Just being able to do that on a regular basis is pretty incredible.
There are a handful of places in the world, and Cornell's one of them, where you can go and everywhere you turn, you find people doing stuff that's just at the cutting edge of what humanity is achieving. I'm not talking just about within the realm of academia. I'm talking about broadly the human enterprise.
This is a very tightly knit community of collaborative, interacting people from Ithaca to New York City. And there's been no other time like this in history. We are at a unique time where we are beginning to understand enough about the molecular mechanism by which diseases like cancer occur that we can intervene with knowledge of fixing what's wrong.
New York City has so much more than just tech. And I think it's the integration of the tech into that energy of everything else that's really powerful.
I think Cornell is going to be the major educational presence in New York City a decade from now, and we're so proud to be part of that.
What happened to me at Cornell created my career, my whole persona, because I was a science major with kind of a minor in journalism. I had a unique background, and that background enabled me to get a job as a full-time science writer at the New York Times when I was 24 years old.
I'm really interested in Latin America right now, and I've been able to take all these classes in arts and sciences and do a minor in Latin American studies. The end goal isn't always the job. The end goal, I think, at Cornell, which is really great, is how to enrich yourself and how to keep learning even after you graduate in the field that you go into. Cornell giving you the tools to be able to develop a career based off of something that you really, really love and be successful at that, that's really the best. It's like, what else could you ask for?
I took a freshman writing seminar my very first semester at Cornell, and my professor told me, don't let your education limit your education, meaning that not to let my classes here at Cornell limit my holistic education, because there's so many opportunities outside of the classroom.
In order to prepare our students to face life after school, I think it's very important for them not only to have classmates who are from other cultures, but for them to go and really get a meaningful international experience, not spending a few days in London or Paris looking at museums. I mean, really getting down there out of their comfort zone.
I'm the team lead for Agua Clara. Agua Clara is a program that's focused on providing sustainable, clean drinking water to communities everywhere throughout the globe. We're currently serving about 40,000 people in Honduras, and we just have 3 new filters that are working in India now. We're a program that is actually doing something really significant value. It's something that I found at Cornell, and it's just become the most fulfilling part of my Cornell experience and my Cornell journey.
What we learn here and what we do here and what we discover here is much bigger than ourselves. To have deep understandings of the places that our knowledge and discovery can be useful, to listen really carefully to what are the needs of the world and how can we respond to those creatively. All of that happens when students and faculty are put in situations of relating and interacting with the world. Whether internationally, locally, through an internship or a service project or some kind of creative project, research, policy engagement, business partnerships, working on issues of sustainable development in a community, that kind of learning that combines the world and the best of the academy is truly exciting and transformative for our students.
I'm thinking of all these Cornell experiences, Slope Day, watching the Dragon, being in College Town, meeting and making some of the best friends of my life.
Like every parent, you have to use reverse psychology to get your kids to do something. So we would never tell our daughter that you should go to Cornell. If anything, we'd say, hey, you should go to a school near home. And then my wife brought her on a college tour out east, and our daughter just fell in love with Cornell. And it has to come from inside. It came to her from herself. She just loved this place. She loved the visit, and she felt that there was something special in the atmosphere, that nurturing environment that I had experienced. She felt it from inside, and by herself said, Dad, if I get in, that's where I would like to go.
There's a special connection between me and every single student on campus because they're a part of the Cornell family, and that's what I'm a part of. I'm always going to be a Cornellian, and that's something really special.
Cornell to the Sweet 16. Let's go back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Hello, Cornell. Ed Helms here. Excited to wish you a very happy sesquicentennial.
A very happy birthday and best wishes for the next 150 years.
Sesquicentennial.
Happy birthday, Cornell.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cornell.
Saskatchewan.
Happy birthday, Cornell.
Happy birthday, Cornell.
Cornell, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cornell.
This is your birthday song.
May you live many more centuries.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. What? Kinetics in your headphones.